Hello guys and welcome back to another game. I've really fallen into the 2v2 haul recently, which I have absolutely been loving, so I figured we'll keep the ball rolling, keep going, and it looks like Hearttt and Lierey pretty much becoming my favourite 2v2 team at the moment. They've been absolutely killing it in numerous games. They're playing some of the biggest names in age, so it's fantastic to see some people out of there. And as well, players I don't know, that's probably the best thing, coming back in and seeing players that I don't know absolutely smashing competition. So really, this should be a really good game to watch overall. Let's have a look at who we've got. In the yellow playing as the Goss, we have TheViper. Over in the blue, we're going to have his teammate playing as the Koreans. We have Tyrant's Daut. So Tyrant, very, very strong team. I think I've talked about him in pretty much just about every video I've done now. So they have been extremely strong over the last couple of years. And Viper, Daut, super strong team. We've basically got one of the oldest players around that's known very well. Viper, one of the probably... I think he's cemented himself as probably one of the better players and one of the best players around at the moment. Even then, one of the best players of the last few years, so I can't even call him the new guy at the moment. So, very, very strong team on Tyrant's side here. In the green, playing as the Goss, however, we have Hearttt, and over in the red, playing as the Koreans, we have Lierey. So we do have a Koreans-Goss matchup. Should be a fantastic map. Two civs we don't really see a lot of. Of course, Huskals and just the infinite, just Hellbird spam of Goss, always going to be really interesting to go up against. The War Wagons, oh, just such a strong unit overall. They are just so hard to deal with overall. Hopefully the Goss can get some kind of help, just spam into there and be able to deal with them nice and early. So let's speed things along because I get bored in the early game. Check out some maps and go from there. So looking at what Lierey's got his main berries here. Well, his only berries on the left side of the TC. Can have his gold in the back here as well, up on top of the hill. Not exactly what you do want to see, but from there could be a lot worse. Looks like he's actually putting... Yep, lumber camp up on the back here. Really interesting to see him going down this far. Could have potentially gone to the side here or the front, but at the same time, probably not the best for us to actually pick from. So it looks like he has committed to the back one here. Of course, as well, playing as Koreans, he is going to need to get some stone up. So stone in the back going to be really important. Get a castle up, get some war wagons going from that guy. So really, really important overall. Potentially could wall off, but... looking at it, it's a very open map, and it is actually going to be a little bit of an issue for him to do that. His teammate Hearttt, let's have a look. Basically, berries over here on the right of the TC. Gonna have some stone up towards the front as well. Playing as Goss as well, really important to get that castle up, so at least you can get some extra tech going, so you can get the Huskals out of the barracks. Probably the most important thing they can get done, really. Apart from that, he's got his gold towards the bottom here, and an extra forest in towards, yeah, the top and the back. So he does have extra options there if he does want to go for it. Only just committing to a lumber camp now, though. As for a Daut, checking out over here, looks like he's going to have his berries towards the left as well. Going to have gold in the back, and he's chosen to lumber in the back as well. No one's really ended up with a really nice lumber camp in this game thus far. I'd say at this point probably Heartt's being the best, because looking down over here, Lierey's just so far away. Doesn't make things easy at all. Daut can have an extra gold to the side. I'm just looking for his stone piles. So stone piles all going to be towards the front here. So going to be a little bit of an issue for Daut. But if you could hold on to these guys, get into some stuff, get some war wagons out, he's going to be in a really good place to actually be able to really just get some units out. From there, we've got Viper's base. It looks like he's been just as screwed as everyone else. Did lose a villager to the boar, though, so that kind of sucks for him. Does have his lumber up way in the back here, so it looks like everyone's got a shocking lumber camp to deal with. So at least everyone's starting out on an even footing there. Oh, did manage to kill the boar this far away from the TC as well. Basically not what we want to be seeing. There we go, and there we go. Well, Daut saying they should go overly aggressive and really push this one, so let's see how this goes and how it plays out for him. Viper having his main gold in the back as well, just checking for his stone. Stone looks like it's going to be pretty much on the front on both sides, so basically Lierey will be able to come in here if he wants to and try and deny that stone, and from there really deny any Huskals out in play, because Huskals, such strong units as well, such strong raiding units. They've got fast speed, they've got a huge amount, they've got a 10 base attack, which is fantastic, and I believe 6 pierce armor off the bat as well, so they are super, super strong, especially for raiding under TCs. So you've got to be very careful with how you're actually going to deal with them. So speeding things along, because I don't think we've seen anyone drop a barracks yet, so I'm just going to do a quick flick around, make sure we haven't seen a barracks go down, and the barracks just going down now for Hearttt. Seeing it looks like he could be thinking about doing a drush. I've seen loom down from most people. Daut clicking up to the feudal age already. Really good time on that one. Clicking up around the 8-minute mark is kind of where you want to be. Looks like Lierey did lose a villager to boar as well. Interestingly enough, that's one villager for each side. It's usually more than you see in any game. Usually you're only seeing one there, but of course it could have just been a lag issue, something like that. Something you always can't rule out. It looks like we can see Viper going for deer as well, trying to get his food count up as much as possible. Food count as Goss, really, really important, because you do rely very heavily on infantry, and that infantry spam. So getting a good eco up really does mean, if you can get a good eco up as Goss and not be really harassed too much, you can pretty much just spam at your enemy until they die. You can just build husks and halberds and eventually just throw them in there there, and eventually your opponent's going to die. That's how it works. Watch any Black Forest game with Goss, and that's basically what happens. They'll boom up to the point where their opponent can't stop them, and from there, there's just issue after issue. Having a look over at Daut, he's already started taking gold, and it looks like he's going for... Yep, he's already split his lumber, even though it's to the same point there, so it's not quite so bad. Daut, though, nearly up into feudal age. Looks like he's expecting it about 10:14. That's a really good feudal time, actually. Really well done by him. It looks like Lierey expected up at 10:41, Viper at 11:35, and Hearttt at 11:39. Of course, having those lost villages there, gonna hurt a little bit. Are we seeing any militia or anything moving out? There we go. That is exactly what I was looking for, just because we did see that early barracks from Hearttt. So we'll be moving in, probably going to try and harass the gold and the berries, if not anything more than that. But overall, it looks like we're going to be seeing a pretty strong game from both players. Viper and Lierey pretty much losing that boar there. Going to hurt their eco a little bit at the start, but overall could be much worse. We can see the archery getting dropped down by Daut as well. Militia potentially going to come in and delay this one, if he can delay it. And there we go, actually forcing the delete of it. Really well played. And archery range coming down over here now. Smart move for sure. How are we looking down over here? Nothing really too much going on. No units out, and again, no units out. Double archery range, though, getting dropped down by Lierey. So it looks like he will be getting very aggressive in this game. And potentially going to see a villager kill. Comes to another one. It looks like it should get back to the town center just in time. And yeah, they're going to get pulled out of there. And really good micro actually getting most of those out of there. That militia, though, taking quite a few hits there from the TC. But the spear going to be doing a good job to push the scout back. And from there, archery range will go up. What kind of transition are we seeing here? So we're seeing the double archery transition from Lierey. Viper at the moment only just about to get up into feudal age. We are seeing the double archery as well, yes, from Daut. So the same kind of transition there. Korean kind of play, though. It doesn't make perfect sense. As for Viper, we're seeing, yes, going for the range as well. Really interesting. Every now and then you can see Goss open up as scouts, because they potentially do want to transition into knights earlier on in the game, well, later on in the game, because Castle Age Knights from Goss, still quite a strong unit. You can get most of your upgrades for that line, so really it can be a good and smart way to get some easy harass there, especially if it means you want to go scouts, get aggressive, push on from there. Of course, though, skipping out on the scouts does mean, though, you will actually save on the food count, so it does mean you can go up to castle a little bit earlier. Looks like we are seeing some stone walls get thrown up for Lierey as well, so he's going to wall this one and going to be able to play it potentially pretty safe. That said, though, he does have a big area on the other side of his base to cover, so he's going to be alright through here, going to at least increase the rush time, but overall I don't think it's going to be too effective at really dealing with it. The militia's still going, though. Hearttt keeping these ones alive really, really well. I'm impressed with how long he's kept these guys going, how much harass he's got there, because you look at that, that's 3 idle villages, and that's really going to start making a difference. Couple of archers finally coming out for Daut, so looking like he's in a good place. Double archery going down for Hearttt as well. So it looks like we will be seeing a strong archery transition out of pretty much everyone at the moment. And that's a good thing, because it means we're going to see some good micro potentially. Viper's still going for the deer up in the top here. And how are we looking over here? Unit's still pushing out. It looks like he has actually got them to retreat. Couple of archers in play, though. As you know, basically militia, archers, you know exactly how it's going to end. Archers, if you can micro, you're not really going to use any units to your militia. And that's exactly what's happening here now. Militia getting taken out very, very quickly. There we go. More archers coming out for Daut. So it looks like he's going to be a good place to start getting a little bit aggressive here. Smith is going down for Hearttt already, though. So trying to get the upgrades as early as he can. Don't think we've seen any Smith down for Hearttt yet. Yet just getting dropped there. And looks like we can see Lierey is moving across the map now as well. Going to try and get some kind of damage going. But at the same time, Viper has actually gone straight for skirmishes. So he's going to be in a good place to get the direct counter. And there's the blacksmith going down as well. Daut, you should have your smith down. Dun, 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 dun. Looks like he's not going for the smith yet. Might be still recovering from a little bit of that harass. And how we going? Looks like we are going to see some unit trades here. Of course, skirmish is going to push in against the archers very effectively, taking out the spear there. And it looks like Lierey coming over to Daut as well, so we might see a little bit of gank happening here. Daut could end up potentially in a really bad place. He's got 2 wolves here, and it looks like he's going to try and avoid them. Just out of sight by the looks of things. Really well played there, avoiding those guys. Lierey going down with fletching as well, and it looks like the wolf has actually spotted them there. A little bit of an issue. Skirmish is moving in from Viper. Going to have to force in through here. So they are going to go the long way. So like I said, just increasing the rush distance more than anything. From there, Lierey going for Town Watch as well. Going to potentially see some trouble over at Daut's base. He does get hit by the 2 forces. Of course, going to be able to pincer in on him. Basically, he's got a small force of his own, so he's going to be able to defend against one of them. Not that you'd really want to be defending against skirmishes anyway with archers, just because it's not the most effective type of combo in the world. Viper going down with padded archer armor as well, so going to be in a good spot. Potentially going to get the villager kill here as well. And is he going to get him? Looks like he might just get away, actually. And no, he's being retasked. There we go, he's actually coming back down. That's not what you want to see. And Daut just letting Viper know that it is a 2v1 situation. And Viper asking for the X just to know where everything's going down. So we should see that on the minimap any second now, hopefully. Viper moving in with a couple of skirmishes. Not really going to be able to do too much. He has got the armor upgrade and fletching already, though, so he's looking very teched up. Going to be able to sit under towers, things like that, not really worry about it too much. But at the end of the day, a couple of villagers can deal with some skirmishes, so he's really after that idle time more than anything at the moment. Looking back at Daut space, we can actually count off some units there. And Daut saying he's lost a lot of vills in this fight. Looks like we can see a couple of units about, but nothing too major. Looks like trying to get the aggression going here as well. Nothing too major. And Viper saying his Dark Age was very bad as well, so not exactly what we want to be seeing. Moving along, looks like we are going to see a little bit of a fight here. Skirmishes, of course, going to be in a really good position here to take the fight if they do want to get lost, but I think he's more about the harass at the moment, because with the amount of units Daut has out, especially with his reinforced time, he's going to be able to take out the skirmishes. It's just a matter of what the cost is going to be. Skirmishes, of course, are going to want to take out as many archers as possible, because they are expensive units, but villager harass is what he really wants here, because moving forward with a couple of villagers to try and get some damage done here. Moving over here, look at this, we've still got another 3 villagers hanging out, potentially going to be able to get the kill on this one, actually. And down to 6 HP. That's what we want to see. So he's going to get the 1 kill there. These ones just going to continue basically chasing them down. And a really good split here from Viper, pushing that guy away. And potentially going to try and get him out of the harm's way. And it looks like he's going to be able to accomplish this. This villager, though, going to have to be careful as well, because he is actually pretty much getting in close to death area now. If these skirmishes can hit him a couple more times, especially if he stalls like that, 4 HP. And going to get the second villager there as well. So Viper getting some really good kills. Seeing a big confrontation up at the top of the map by Daut and Hearttt, though. Hearttt getting some good kills, naturally targeting down the archers as best he can, the more expensive units. Villagers moved in on top of the skirmishers because they will be doing quite a bit of damage there. And looks like we're going to see just so many archers get taken down. It's not even funny right now. Viper, though, moving across the map with some more skirmishes as well. Looks like he's trying to get into Heartt's base. Can potentially get in here, get onto the lumber camp, anything like that. Do the damage where he needs to, even down in this back section here. But really, skirmishes for Hearttt as well, so it's going to be quite a close game overall. Basically, at the moment, what are we seeing? Still a little bit of fight going down over here. Pop-wise, dun-dun-dun, if I can swap back to that tally there. We're looking at 53 for Hearttt, we're looking at 45 for Lierey, 55 for Viper, and 41 for Daut. So it is actually still a very, very close game overall. Both teams doing a really good job at staying in the game, actually, and it looks like we can see Viper pushing away Lierey there as well. So really came in, looks like he got a couple of kills here on the gold camp, so really good job from him. But overall, we can see Daut getting pushed in on again. Gonna have to be really careful that he doesn't get weighed down to here too hard. Current points, we're looking at about 2,000 for Hearttt, 1,800 Lierey, 2,000 for Viper, and about 1,700 for Daut. So Daut a little bit far behind in terms of score at the moment, but it's definitely not out of the game kind of score. Viper moving around as well. Looks like he's trying to deny the wall here. And only 3 HP left on this builder. Can potentially actually kill it off if he wants to, even with the skirmishes. Still 3 HP. Might just get away. And it looks like Viper's actually going to retask and get out of there. So, villager, looks like he will survive for now. And how are we looking around the rest of the map? See a little bit of a skirmish over here. Viper hunting down a couple of rogue units there from Lierey. And it looks like, again, Lierey pushing, Viper out of his turf here. It is actually quite a close battle at the moment, just because Viper's got so many skirmishes out in the field, which are the direct counters to archers. Plus, he has the hill bonus there. We are seeing Lierey actually having to bail from the fight. A little bit annoying that he's going to have to do. And it looks like he's letting Daut know that the base is still open there. And it looks like, again, Heartt's still hard pushed on Daut at the moment. Moving this one in and stonewall. So just letting his opponent know, well, his ally, I guess, know what his opponents are up to. From there, Daut actually forced to put up the tower as well. And looks like these skirmishes are going to come in, potentially try and do some damage, forcing the garrison to the TC there. And Viper trying to keep this gap open as long as possible. It looks like things. The villager is coming up, a couple of skirmishes as well to try and get it closed off, but I don't think it's going to be what we see happening. Looks like we can see Hearttt going down for the stable as well, and going to lose a villager there. Can potentially lose a second as well. Some really good kills here by Daut if he gets that one as well. That's 3 villager picks. Daut in a really good spot here to actually start taking back the damage. Lierey and Hearttt both clicking up to Castle Age. It looks like Hearttt does want to make the transition into Knights. Like I was saying earlier, pretty common for Goths to go for that one, especially about the amount of skirmishes we've got on the field at the moment. A couple of Knights going to pretty much just rip them to shreds and not really worry about losing too much. As for Daut, doesn't look like he's very close at the moment. Viper clicking up, so Daut going to be a little bit behind in terms of this, just because he's lost so much eco, or more than because he's lost so much time. He's just been harassed from the start, so really not in the best kind of mood for this one. That said, though, Daut doing a really good job pushing this one back. At the moment, though, Hearttt having a big army that's going to be able to push him across. Basically, his only chance for this one really has to meet up with Viper and push it off, but Lierey at the moment going to keep Viper pretty busy on his own, so you're going to have to be careful about that one. Looks like Viper is starting to take stone as well, so we'll drop that castle nice and early, be able to get some Huskarls out. As for Hearttt, he's going down with scale barding as well, so it looks like that castle transition into knights. Going to be pretty much exactly what we're looking at. Potentially going to lose a couple of villages here as well. Got to be careful what he's doing with these guys. And only needs a couple of hits on that, doing about 12 damage per round there at the moment. So just going to be careful to get the hits where he needs them. And again, we do have Hearttt pushing Hearttt pushing Daut back across the map again, sorry. Castle Edge, though, looking very close for all our players as well. Hearttt going down with Forging, so it looks like he's going to have some pretty buffy knights at the end of this. And it looks like Viper actually being forced to withdraw there from Lierey's base. Daut coming in with some more units, so potentially going to try and get a little bit more harassed. Can actually move in because it is open. But from there, he is going to be able to get a couple of kills here, but really needs to be careful at actually what he does. Going to potentially force these farms off here. Can get into the wood line in the back if he wants to, but from there, so it's just one. Viper just saying he's committing to Huskarls at the moment as well. Really interesting is going to be going for those ones. Of course, both his opponents have gone for archery units, especially skirmishers, so he's going to be in a good place to actually do this one now. And let's have a look. There we go, Lierey up into castle. We've got Hearttt up into castle. Viper should be behind this a couple of seconds now, and then he'll be up there as well. And let's have a look. Are we seeing some knights get produced? Let's just swap over into Hearttt. And Bloodline's just finishing up. And I've no doubt we're going to see a couple of things. Elite Skirmisher as well from Hearttt, so really trying to make use of this as much as possible. Bodkin Arrow going down for pretty much all our players as well. Scale Mail going down for Viper as well. Going to try and get that Huskarl armor up as much as he can. And looks like that scout actually going to be able to deal with most of these skirmishers too. Knights are on the way from Hearttt, so you're going to have to be really careful with this one, especially Daut that he doesn't lose too many units to those knights, because knights up against a feudal age army, they just absolutely pull it apart, especially villages as well. Got to be really careful just because they do get in the wood line and they do end games very, very quickly just on villager kills alone. And there we go, first knight is out in play at the moment. Bloodline's on that, got the 1 armor, got the +1 attack, so looking like he's going to be in a really good place. Viper going down with Elite Skirmishers, Squire and Bodkin. Looks like he's going to try and use those skirmishers up as best as possible. Castle coming down on the front here, defending the stone, and of course going to be able to start getting some Huskarls out of that guy. Daut only just clicking up to Castle Age now, so a little bit far behind, but at the same time, Elite Skirmishers are actually going to do some serious damage here if he's not careful. Can take out villages quite quickly now, just because there is so many of them in bulk, and they're actually up to 5 damage now instead of just sitting at 3. So instead of doing 1, they're basically doing, well, 2 damage per hit. So they've basically doubled their efficiency, and sitting under this kind of stuff, they just don't care. Looks like we can see this getting pinged off across the map at the moment. Viper at least letting his opponent know what's going on, or Lierey letting his ally know what's going on. So really we're in a pretty good spot here overall. Both teams are actually really, really close. Basically, right now, we're looking at 3,200 for Hearttt, Lierey at 2,700 or 2,600, Viper at 3,100, and Daut at 2,300, 2,400. So it's still looking very, very tight overall. It is anyone's game. A couple of those Huskarls, though, out for Viper, going to be able to deal with these archers so effectively now, especially with the fact he's got skirmishers out. So you're going to have to be very, very careful about that one. Only thing I'm really worried about is a couple of these knights getting into the eco for Daut. And if they do get in the eco up here, it can potentially change the game very, very quickly. So we are seeing the skirmishers moving in. Hopefully it doesn't just run in with this knight, because it is going to get taken out fairly quickly versus many archers, especially with the tower there as well. And of course, going to take out the skirmishers quite quickly, but just so many units there. He's taking a lot of damage he doesn't need. Really should be sending these guys in, terrorizing the economy as much as possible. A couple of these guys on Viper would actually just be such a hard thing to actually deal with. So Daut just saying he knows his opponent's knights. Hearttt going down with chain parting as well, so he can have the +2 armor there. Very, very strong with those ones. And it looks like Hearttt and Lierey in a pretty solid lead at the moment. A couple of 100 points up overall in the score average. But at the same time, it's still anyone's game, because there is just so many units left on the field as well. The castle is up for Lierey, though, so he's going to be able to start getting some of those war wagons out, which are just such strong units. Up to 3 TC as well, so going to be in a really good place to get his boom on. As for Viper, looks like we're seeing singular TC. I believe Daut pretty much seeing singular TC as well. I don't think he can really afford too much at the moment. The Huskarls from Viper are going to be good at holding this one up, but Knights as well can absolutely shred those Huskarls. So you're just going to have to be very, very careful against that one as well. As for the TCs, looks like we've got a second one up for Hearttt and potentially a third one. Yes, there's the third coming up. So it looks like they are going to be committing to their eco a lot more than Viper and Daut. Daut and Viper, of course, they do have good armies out at the moment. They do have some good unit combinations, but at the same time, the longer this game goes at the moment, the better position Hearttt and Lierey are going to be in to really take it back. So if they can get their eco up enough to steamroll, especially Lierey playing as the Koreans, we do have Hearttt as Goths as well. Both those civilizations, if they get going, they're just so hard to stop. Mangonels, so strong, especially Koreans, with just their siege bonuses in general. Absolutely awesome. And then you've got, of course, the Goths, which just have the never-ending spam. So strong. So strong. Quite a few knights out in play now for Hearttt, though. Gonna have to be careful overall these knights don't get out of control, because basically a couple of knights can actually kill off this entire army here. In fact, I think this is probably enough knights to actually take out this entire army here, even with the Huskarls, even with the crossbows. Basically, going to be able to jump on top of the Huskarls, and if he's not careful, pretty much soak up all the extra damage there, especially so many of them being skirmishers. And it looks like, yes, we are going to see the combination go down at the moment. We'll be actually kind of surprised if the Knights don't clean this one up. Gonna probably lose a couple in there, but overall, the Knights just gonna, yeah, doing exactly what we're expecting here, taking everything out fairly quickly, and the rest of these archers not going to be able to withdraw now, because the Knight's going to have that extra speed, and just going to chase them down from there. So probably a poor engagement from Viper and Daut there. Really shouldn't have gone for that one. And look at the war wagons out in the field from Lierey now. Going to be very, very hard to deal with these guys, especially considering the amount of units they did just lose. And those Knights, it's going to be such a big deal trying to get the harass against them. Viper going out with the second and third TC, so it looks like he is starting to play the eco game a little bit more now. As for Daut, Daut's still single TCing it up at the moment, really going for it. Going for the monastery, could potentially be going for the converts on the Knights here. Maybe the war wagons as well, depending on what he really wants to do. Lierey going down with the castle, pretty much in the center of the map though, so looking to get fairly aggressive with this one. Not sure exactly what his game plan is overall. Hearttt on 84 population, Lierey 87, Viper 69, and Daut 58. So there is a big advantage right now to Hearttt and Lierey. Not sure exactly how this one is gonna go, but Viper potentially could lose a lot of units here. Gonna move him into the TC, definitely a good call from him. Daut and Viper really need to start getting into this game, finding a way they can actually do some damage. Viper going down with Anarchy though, so finally going to be able to start getting some of those Huskarls out of the barracks, really just getting his numbers up. And of course, still going to be able to deal with his war wagons quite well. Only thing being, they do have 9+2 attack compared to the 6+2 armor of the Huskarl, so really the war wagons still going to be doing decent damage, so going to have to be careful with those guys. Huskarl's biggest advantage is usually the fact they only take about 1 damage per arrow. With siege and stuff like this though, that's a little bit of a difference. Viper going down with the 4th TC as well, so really trying to get his eco up in the game as well. Current point wise, we're looking at about 4,600 for Hearttt, 4,000 for Lierey, 4,000 for Viper, 3,300 for Daut. So overall still very, very close, but at the same time, Lierey and Hearttt seem to be taking a really dominant fixture in this game right now. Do we see more lumber down here? I thought we might have been seeing an extra town center. Second stable is down though. Thumbring going down for Lierey, so going to put him in a good place. And oh, so we're going to see more Huskarls get lost here for Viper. As you can see, those war wagons do actually do a fair bit of damage to Huskarls, even though they have such high pierce armor, just because their base attack is so high. Getting stuck here as well. The Knight's going to be able to chase the Huskarls down. This is not what you want to see. Overall, though, Daut looks like he is going for a little bit of damage. Going to try and get in the base and do something there. However, there's just going to be so many Knights that's going to be able to get pulled back, especially after the stuff up here. It's just going to be trouble. Looks like Daut going for the convert there. Doesn't look like he's going to get it, sadly. Potentially going to get pushed off this stone over here as well. Viper's economy looking pretty good in the bank at the moment. Currently 84 villages for Hearttt, 96 for Lierey. Viper on 72 and Daut on 54. So again, quite a bit of a difference there. But Viper definitely managing to hold his team up at the moment, eco-wise, especially score-wise, being a really, really strong player at the moment. And yeah, these Knights just going to hold this one up as well. War Wagons is going to soak up so much damage too. This is not really the kind of fight you want to be seeing. Overall, I would say Daut in a lot of trouble. Potentially actually going to lose a lot of eco to this. Losing another villager there as well. Losing another 3, 4, 5, 6 or so villages. Knights just pushing this one back across the map. I have no idea what Daut's actually going to be able to do to combat this one. There is nothing he can really do at all either. He's going to lose pretty much all of his army here to the Knights. This is trouble in a nutshell. Viper looks like he's got quite a few Huskarls out in the field, so we'll be able to move across and try and help out. Going to be quite good against the War Wagons, but the Knights, however, just going to cut those Huskarls to shreds. Going to have to be very, very careful. Lierey on his way down to Imperial Age as well, so a Korean Imperial player, not really something you want to be up against, especially stuck in Castle, because they are just such a strong Imperial and post-Imperial Civ. They just hit so hard. Viper finally going down with Forging as well. How are we looking over here? We are seeing the Huskarls move in against the War Wagons. Going to be able to get on top of them and do some damage. Of course, they do have high base attack, like I was saying. They do have the 10 there. About to get the extra +1 as well. But the Knights at the moment and the forward villagers could be potentially dropping a forward castle. And that's exactly what's happening. Gonna have to get in here and clean this up as much as possible. Viper, though, looks like he's going to lose a lot of his Huskarls in this fight. Daut helping out as best he can with a couple of archers here, but it's just not enough. And yeah, the Huskarls is getting absolutely dominated by the Knights here. Are taking down their fair share, but at the same time, there's just so many units out in the field at the moment, it's just impossible for them to actually deal with. The castle coming up as well, going to be able to deny this one as best as possible. Once the Knights and War Wagons do move forward, though, they won't be able to do too much with it. 15% on that castle, going to put up the house over here. War Wagons going to push in, deal with his crossbows just so effectively. And it looks like Daut might actually be out of the running here. Not a lot he can do. So it will be up to Viper from here to really pull this game back. And, oh, really good micro there against the Knights, actually. Managed to take a lot of them out. War Wagons, though, look at them just soaking up the damage. They have 3+2 armor on that one. Crossbow's only doing 7 damage, so we're really not seeing too much overall. Castle's starting to get forced up as well. The Knight just soaking up the damage there. Not really caring about it. More Huskarls coming out from Viper, so Viper really trying to help with this one. Basically flooding units across the map now, thanks to that Anarchy tech. And of course we can see the exact same thing happening for Lierey. Is getting across here. We did see the convert on that War Wagon there, which is fantastic. but we can see Hearttt on his way up as well, so it looks like we are going to be seeing a pretty big Imperial game. There we go, Lierey up to Imperial, so we will be seeing those elite upgrades go down anytime soon now. Bracer, Chemistry, pretty much all the upgrades you want on your war wagons going down. Not really what you do want to be seeing. Did deny the castle back here though, and Viper is starting to start pulling up some ground now at the moment. Just Daut not having enough units in here to really be able to push this one back, and looks like Viper might be just about ready to throw in the towel. Not sure this one's going to go out. So many units moving across the map at the moment. Daut not in a good mood by the looks of things by the chat at the moment. And ooh, is managing to push these units away for now, but the Knights, of course, going to move back in, take these guys out, and from here, really, there's just so many ward wagons out in the field. There's the GG from Viper. Should be seeing it from Daut as well. There we go. Lierey and Hearttt playing another fantastic 2v2. These guys at the moment pretty much becoming my favorite 2v2 tag team. They are absolutely fantastic in team games, and I really want to see more games from them. I hope you enjoyed it, guys, and I'll see you in the next game.